Welcome to the store. So, you just watched Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, and it's whet your appetite for more? Well, you have come to the right VHS rental store. I have a selection of rental recommendations, just perfect to scratch that itch. If you want more movies where rich people treat murder like some sort of party game, I have good news. The whole rich people are messed up subgenre of horror is way bigger and way darker than you might think. Make sure you stick around for the last recommendation, just to see how weird it gets. Let's start with the one recommendation that almost feels like it's too obvious. 2020's The Hunt. A group of strangers wake up in the middle of nowhere, no explanation, no context, and then people just start getting shot. It all happens real fast. The setup here is simple. A group of ultra wealthy elites have decided to hunt humans for sport. The most dangerous game. But what makes The Hunt stand out is the way it plays with your expectations. Characters you think are important? Gone. Situations that feel predictable? Flip almost instantly. And the violence is quick. Not drawn out, not dramatic, just sudden and brutal. You've got hidden traps, fake safe zones, and people that just die mid-sentence. This one doesn't feel like a movie, it feels like someone playing on survival mode and failing hard. If Ready for Not 2 worked for you because of The Hunt itself, this movie takes that concept, strips it down to a level that's chaotic, unpredictable, but kind of fun. Next up, we've got Would You Rather from 2012. Imagine instead of running for your life, you're stuck at a table, and leaving is not an option. A wealthy man invites a group of desperate people to dinner, and he offers them a deal. Play a game and win money. Refuse and you get nothing. Sounds simple, right? Each round forces them to choose between two options. Both are always terrible, and the longer it goes on, the more it becomes clear this isn't about winning. This is about seeing how far people will go when survival is on the line. And although things start fairly tame, would you rather be electrocuted or electrocute someone else? Trust me, things escalate to crazy levels. The one that always stands out to me, would you rather get shot or slice open your own eyeball? Expect to see people turning on each other, choices that get more violent with every round, and a tone that just gets bleaker and bleaker. Oh, and that ending? Super bleak. This one's basically Ready for Not without all of the running. Just pure psychological cruelty controlled entirely by someone rich enough to get away with it. Maybe you want something a little bit more fast-paced. Well, that's where Escape Room from 2019 comes in. A group of strangers are invited to test their skills in a series of escape rooms. But these aren't normal puzzles. These rooms are built to kill you. Every single room is designed around a different worst fear for someone. You've got rooms that slowly heat up until you can't breathe, floors that collapse underneath you, and traps that trigger when you solve anything. Oh, and the twist? The entire thing is being run like a business. That means someone built this. Someone incredibly wealthy funded this, and someone is watching it happen just for entertainment. If you liked the whole idea of rich people controlling life or death situations, this is the same thing, just packaged as a game experience. And if you've ever done an escape room in real life, you'll know that there's an uncanny, surreal quality about it, and that odd feeling of knowing that you have a member of staff watching you. This movie takes that and puts it on steroids. Let me know in the comments, which one of these games do you think you would actually have a chance of surviving? Did you know that subscribers are statistically the most likely to survive a rich person's sadistic game? Increase your odds of survival. Hit subscribe. Okay, let's slow things down a little bit, because the menu from 2022 doesn't start with chaos. It builds it. A group of wealthy guests are invited to an exclusive dining experience on a private island. Everything is controlled, everything is planned. And the chef? He's not just serving food, he's sending a message. At first it feels normal. Uncomfortable, sure, but fairly normal. And then things start to shift. The courses become stranger, the tone gets darker, and slowly it becomes clear this isn't just dinner. This is something else entirely. Expect to see guests realizing that they're trapped, power dynamics completely flipped, and moments of violence that come out of nowhere. This one still has the same rich people controlling someone else's fate vibe. It's the same concept, but instead of a hunt, it's a slow, controlled descent into horror. And honestly, it's worth watching just to see Ralph Fiennes in this one. He is phenomenal. Oh, and then there's Infinity Pool from 2023. This one takes everything we've talked about so far and just pushes it probably too far. It follows wealthy tourists in a country with a very specific law. If you commit a crime with the death penalty, you can pay to have a duplicate of yourself executed in your place. So naturally, the rich start testing the system over and over and over. What starts out as curiosity turns into something way darker, because once all of the consequences disappear, so does the restraint. You can expect to see people watching their own deaths, violence treated as entertainment, and a complete psychological breakdown just across the board. This movie doesn't just show rich people being evil, it shows what happens when they literally don't have to care anymore. If Ready or Not 2 made you think rich people are insane, this is what happens when there's no limits at all. Just to give you a fair warning, this one was made by Brandon Cronenberg, son of David Cronenberg. So expect graphic body horror, because the apple did not fall far from the tree. So I can't list all of the movies I want to talk about, but there's a few quick-fire mentions that I want to just chuck in there before we get into our last movie. First up, Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs. Mummy and Daddy are the most horrific landlords of all time. This one's a demented 80s movie where the wealthy hunt the children of the poor. Another one that's too obvious not to mention is the movie Hostel. They literally pay huge sums of money to torture and mutilate people. This one is a tough watch. It's gritty and realistic and incredibly brutal. 1987's Eat the Rich, about a waiter in a restaurant where the rich dine on exotic and endangered animals. This one's got a brilliant British cast. French and Saunders are in it. Paul McCartney from the Beatles as well. Oh, and Lemmy from Motorhead's in it. Eat the Rich is a Motorhead song. And the last dishonourable mention before we get to our main recommendation is 2017's Get Out. This one's an intelligent, psychological body-snatching movie, and Jordan Peele's director debut. So worth your time. Oh, and finally, I promised you a weird one for the last movie. 1989's Society. This is the one you want to watch when you want to see the concept taken to the absolute extreme. It starts off simple. A guy begins to suspect that the wealthy people around him aren't normal. Sure, rich people act strange and they talk strange, but something feels off, something else. And the deeper he digs, the worse it gets. I'm not going to spoil what happens in this one. Just know that by the end of this movie, it stops being subtle. I'm talking going so far past subtle that it's like a speck in the horizon that you can barely see anymore. You can expect growing paranoia, a constant sense that something isn't right. That is until the third act, when it goes completely off the rails. This is the rich elite horror at its most unhinged. No games, no rules, just something deeply wrong beneath the surface. Deeply wrong and slimy. This is actually Brian Usner's director debut and featured the peak late 80s practical effects from Screaming Mad George. That's two great reasons to watch it. So if Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, left you wanting more, like more chaos, more games, and more rich people being the absolute worst, start by renting these movies. And if you still want more, hit subscribe for more horror content. Oh, and if you've made it this far, before you go off and watch one of my other videos, I'd really appreciate it if you could just put a little like on this. I'm a tiny channel, and it would really help. But until next time, I'm Jay, this is Jay's VHS Rentals. Be kind and rewind.